Hello and welcome to Nikki's Scrapbooking Adventures. Today I am going to be doing an 8x8 layout of my cutie pie right here, sticking out his tongue. Now, backstory about this photo is that my family, when they're concentrating super hard, they stick out their tongue. So, my thought is that I just do a quick little page documenting that story. And I've already got a little bit started. So I am using this exclamation mark to really emphasize my story. I am going to go over a couple of things here. First is how I'm making these foam letters. So in a previous video, I had used this 4x6 double-sided foam sheet to make punch-outs for my letters. Well, I discovered today that I could also use my dies with this foam, which is really exciting. So what I did is I cut out this die set out of this foam. Now, when you're doing something like this, you need to make sure that you run your die through your cutting machine multiple times. Because it is a thicker material, you have to make sure you get through all of the layers. And so you do that by just running it multiple times. So then I am left with all of these letters, and the backing is on both sides. After that was completed, I took the backing off one side and adhered it to this paper. And then made my exclamation point just by hand. I also rounded the corners by hand. I just drew with a pencil some rounded corners. And then I'm taking my letters that I had cut out of the same die, taking off the release sheet and putting it on top of this. Now I believe Heidi Swap came out with letters that are similar. You can take off the front and add glitter. You could do that too with these, I bet. I do not like glitter whatsoever. But all I'm doing here is taking off the release paper on the top and then adhering my paper that I had cut out. Now a word of warning when you're doing this process. If the release paper comes off one side, it will not go back on. Not very nicely, at least. It likes to fall back off pretty quickly. So you need to make sure that you try to keep that release paper on there for as long as possible. Okay, and then I'm going to add this. Now to make these letters stand out, what I did is I took this little color box fluid chalk ink pad that looks like an oval with sharp edges. Now I don't know that you can get this specific kind, but I know Joann's sells ink pads that are similar shape, and that's really important to get in between these letter gaps. You need that corner that's super skinny to get in there. So I was going to show you how I did that with a couple of these letters. Okay, so there is my own customized foam letters. Now once they're stuck, they're stuck. I mean, they're stuck. Okay, so let's do this G. So first, you just kind of go around the outside, dragging the ink pad around it so you get a nice even outline. Now even doesn't really matter. So, okay. Now to get in the inside, you're actually going to bend the letter. See how this now is exposed? I can fit my ink pad in the spot. This took me a long time to figure out. And you can bend it both ways. See how I'm bending that letter to try to get in this little spot here. Okay. And this is where that really sharp point on your ink pad is going to come in handy. So I'm just going to bend the letter coming from behind to get the inside. Making sure to come from behind because what happens is you get these nasty little marks. Okay. So I bend the letter. And now my letter is inked pretty much in every spot. Enough where you can tell that it's inked or outlined. If you were to try to do this with something like this distress ink, you can't get into these little itty bitty crevices very well. You can try. You can try. But I prefer this oval with a point to it. It makes it a little bit easier. So that's how I did this. Now I am going to mat my photo because I am planning on putting this on a very, very busy background because I think it really emphasizes the story that he is concentrating. It's already pretty hard to tell what this says, and that's okay. So let me show you how I'm going to back this paper, or this photo. I'm just going to take a scrap from my scrap pile. Let's see. Yep, that's going to definitely work. This height too. This is why I keep those white scraps separate. Okay. So use my ATG gun to adhere this photo. And I do all 4 sides because it just makes it easier. I don't have to then glue it later. Okay, and then I'm going to use my We Are layer guide to do a 3/16 of an inch. I'm going to butt this up against the photo so it can't move anymore. Take my X-Acto knife and just run it along there. So now I know that my layer, or my mat, is going to be the same width all the way around my photo. I got a little junk here. Just rub it off. I think it's extra tape. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. Just some extra tape. Picked up some ink. Okay. So that's how I'm going to do my mat on my photo. Now let's see what this looks like. Where's the cap to this? Well, I'll just put it over the side. Oh, there's the cap. Put that away. I always try to cap everything. Okay, so really busy background, but the mat really makes the photo stand out. I am then going to put this right here to really emphasize the fact that he is concentrating. Now I did use orange for this because that orange color is not in the background. Okay, making sure it's a little bit square. And there we go. Now I want to tell the story behind this photo. So I think what I'm going to do is do a couple journaling strips right here. So I'll grab my scraps again that are in the white. Let's do a smaller set of scraps. Okay, so this size is probably going to be perfect. Pull it out of my scrapbook. And I will link the video down below where I show how to make these scrapbooks and how I organize my scraps in my space. So I'm just going to cut a couple strips here. Now I'm doing strips because this block is there. Okay, so there's my 3 strips. And what color am I going to do? because I do like to do colored journaling. You know, I'm going to do black this time because this is such a busy background. Maybe it'll pull in some of that black that's there around the letters. Simple journaling. I'm going to say welcome to the club. Since he is a new member. Love it. Okay, I'm going to cut this a little bit shorter. Now, I did get a new app on my phone, which is really exciting. It puts the date on the photos when you take the photograph. Now you have to take the photograph from that app, and I originally grabbed that app because I felt like all my photos were getting blurry. And honestly, I think it's just because he moves a lot. And that's okay. Oh yeah, that is crazy busy, and that is okay. That is part of my story. That is my mood and feeling. I want this to be flippin' crazy. In my family, we stick our tongues out when we are concentrating. Welcome to the club. How cute is that? Now I am going to ink the outside of this, because I was looking at and I want to make sure that this is an exclamation point, and you can tell that it's an exclamation point. Okay. Get that edge. See how I'm just going to go over all of that, just rubbing it across. I'm not dragging this up and down. If I were to drag it up and down, it would be really thick, and you would get an extra layer that I don't want. So I am going to just drag this back and forth. Somebody's making some cute noises in the background, huh? You just woke up from nap. Okay. Let's see how that looks. Oh yeah, you can totally tell it's an exclamation point. How fun is that? Now, do I want to move this here? No, I want it right here. Okay. That is going to be my page. Do I want to... The other question is, do I want to mat this? Because the paper that I'm on, or using, is very thin. It is not a cardstock. What if I mat it in the orange that I've got here? Would that bring it forward? Yeah, let's try that. Let's mat it in orange. Okay, so I have these leftover scraps. So I am going to need to grab, let's see, I need to make this 8 by 8. That's done. My page protector is actually 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. So if I make it 8 by 8, I can then mat this. Okay. And then I do have extra colored cardstock. I picked orange because I don't usually use that color. It is my least favorite color. It also isn't in. Okay. So this is how I'm going to use strips to mat my page. And I'm having to do that because this is not the same size. Okay, so there's 4. I'm going to do 6. 5, 6. Okay. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? This is what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be so much easier if I just do it this way. So this is actually a thicker cardstock. My fun pattern paper is just a piece of paper, essentially. That's the width of the weight of the paper. So I'm going to use this. which is more cardstock, to adhere everything together. And then I'm just going to lay this up right there. Get that to meet up. Oops. Put it on there for me. There we go. Cut it off. So now I can see how you can't even tell that that's just strips of paper. Okay, put that one at the bottom. That was kind of messed up. That's like right in the center. I don't want it right in the center because that will really draw your attention. Okay, try to get it evenly lined up. Good enough for me. There we go. Now that orange is going to pop, or make more sense, I guess is what I should say. It's not going to pop. It's going to make more sense. I don't really want to add any embellishments to this because my title is so massive and it's already a really busy layout. So I feel like if I were to add any embellishments, it would get very lost in this page. Okay, so this is my 8x8 photo of my son sticking out his tongue, looking like he's moving all of these letters around. I'm going to show you the dimension that were on those letters. See how they're popped up on foam? Again, I used these 4x6 double-sided foam adhesives and my dies to create my own thickers. I then die cut the paper that I wanted to stick on top. I made sure to keep the non-stick adhesive on here while I was moving the letters around. And I inked the letters with this oval with a point to get in between. To get in between here, you bend the letters like this and work from the back, because the back of the letter is going to be messy. Example with this G. So that G is outlined while this Q is not. Okay, so if you guys have any comments or questions, please list them below. I will list where I got this foam sheets. They're just from Amazon. I'm trying them for the first time. And we will go from there. Thanks so much, guys. Have a wonderful day.